with Jeremy. We want to see if we're going.
Who's Jamie?
What's that?
Who's Jamie?
I said Jeremy. Jeremy. Hey, everybody. Hey, Hunter.
Zach.
We got some people here today. It's so good seeing people.
It is. I agree.
That's good. All right, so somebody sent me this quote yesterday. I thought it was pretty cool. So it says, from C.S. Lewis, and it says, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
Okay.
And I just thought that was kind of appropriate, right? We're at the I don't know, 3/4, 4/5 of the way through the year. Somewhere in that percentage range, the math is right.
Exactly 3/4 as of.
Hang on just a sec. What's not happening?
Slides are not showing up.
All right, hang tight. It says, is anyone else streaming in here? It says we're not, the bandwidth is too much. All right, guys, we're working on it. We're getting close. Can you hear us?
I hear you, sure.
You got it?
If y'all actually don't stream, I think the internet's getting too much. If anybody in here is streaming, then
Stop.
that would be great. That would be great. We got no bandwidth. All right, guys, we're getting started again.
All right.
Here we go.
You know we got the Titans tonight, Zach.
We got Titans tonight. You see our slides now?
Tuesday night football.
Getting there. It'll come. Can you hear us?
Tuesday night football.
What happened to Monday Night Football?
They have that still. It's just that was last night.
That's right. That's good.
Yeah. So part of COVID.
Can you hear us? Okay. We're gonna keep rolling. We're gonna get some slides going here in a minute, but I think it's just gonna need to take a second for the bandwidth to go. But it sounds like everybody can hear us. So.
Yeah. What are you grateful for, Zach?
Well, today I am grateful for a lot of things. So I'm grateful for. I just had somebody join my team, so that was good.
Yeah.
With me and Crystal, and her name's Chloe, so she's awesome. So she's actually right back there. So welcome, Chloe.
Welcome, Chloe.
She's moved to Nashville from Indiana. And
Lots of people moving to Nashville. We'll get to that.
We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And I'm grateful that my kids are in school. And
in
my
person.
daughter, I'm grateful that I hope my daughter's okay. She fell out of my car today while trying to get onto the bus. She's got a backpack that's like the size of Jupiter. And it was a pretty epic moment.
Yeah.
I felt kind of bad. She was a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I've done many
You
things like that.
sometimes make an entrance kind of like that.
I kind of make an entrance like
yeah,
that.
So hereditary.
So, how are slides looking? Are we still back down or back up? Still frozen. All right.
It may not be for everybody.
Tell you what, I'm going to stop this
maybe
stream.
Jeremy.
Let's see. All right, now it's showing excellent connection. Are we good?
What's the source on that screen? They haven't changed at all. Cursor is still on that screen shot.
All right. Well, I'm showing that we're good. But I'm just going to keep going. Maybe if you refresh it, it'll go. So,
Hey,
Colin,
Colin running for
the
Greater
Greater Nashville Board of Directors.
Yeah.
So you've got another 17 days to vote. So this is really important. So if you can actually go to voteforcolin.com and click on her on that link, and she just makes it super easy. So you can vote right there. You can vote for more than one person. You can just vote for one person. Doesn't matter, but definitely vote for Colin.
And it's not that important that we have someone from Village on the board. I mean, I think it's nice being kind of one of the leading firms in Nashville.
Yeah.
But what's more important is to have someone like Colin on the board. just an earnest, thoughtful, level-headed, realtor-focused person. So I'm really hopeful that she wins. So let's all get out there and support her.
I love it. I love it. So, so voteforcolin.com. That's COLLYN, as you see right there.
And she tells a little bit on her website why she's running, why it's important to her. So
Yeah, we'll get her to come in at some point too and talk. But,
she's coming back from a little COVID quarantine.
She is. She is. She thought she was in the clear, and then something happened, and she got sick on her vacation. So anyway, so she's feeling better now. But give her your thoughts and send her some love.
Yeah.
So all right. So some education updates. Teddy's got an education update, so you know this is going to be interesting. He said it was a little more impactful today, so I have no idea. I have not watched this yet, so it's always exciting and nerve-wracking and adventurous about what will happen here.
Good morning, Village. It's Teddy Pins here, and I've got your weekly education update and, of course, your hot tip. So today, there is no class after the sales meeting, but keep an eye out for our upcoming 1031 exchange class and our continuing of our series, Know What You're Selling. That's an in-depth class. I've got one coming up with an expert on appliance systems in your home. So I took that 2-hour class. It is CE, so I'm giving you 2 hours of free CE on learning about appliances. One tip on that, clean your washing machine with a canister of powdered Tang. It will eat the citric enzymes or acid will eat the mold that you can't see below the drum, and it'll leave your washing machine smelling orange and fresh. So there you have it. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.
I'm not going to do that.
So that will be happening. We also have Jumpstart starting tomorrow, and that is going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday. So you're going to get an email. All agents will get an email today with the schedule of that. Day 1, Wednesday, contracts. Day 2 is building and maintaining the business. Day 3, Friday, sellers. Day 4, Monday, is working with buyers and a final wrap-up. So we look forward to seeing you there. You're going to get an email today. If you want to attend Day 1 contracts, there's going to be a packet of stuff to print out. So you'll have that information shortly. All new agents need to attend all sessions. Experienced agents obviously jump in when you want to get a refresh on things. Outside education opportunities, thanks to Rebecca Cooper. Code of Ethics on Tuesday the 13th. That's today, 1 to 4, if you're interested in that. Also, if you're interested in the GRI, Graduate Institute designation, we've got 3 classes coming up through GNR. That's working more effectively with sellers, mastering forms and contracts, and tips, tools, and technology for your business. That is starting Monday, the 19th of October. You can look into GNR for that. All right, your tech tip, Teddy's got it. It is
I thought it was the washing machine.
#expert. So in your apps on your phone, #expert creates all the hashtags you need quickly and efficiently. You can be one of those people that leaves 30 hashtags on your post. That's it for the week. #Teddy out.
Oh, never a dull moment with that guy.
Hey, if they're still having trouble with the slides, should we put this on there and then we can just trade off your computer?
Who's having trouble with the slides?
He's saying it's still frozen. I think we're good.
Showing good on my front.
All right.
Have you
Keep
refreshed
rolling.
it?
I think that it's the source that you have selected is a different screen than when it's actually playing the PowerPoint or the slideshow.
You're saying the source? That?
The source that you're placing in the frame must be the wrong screen.
I'm not following you.
So you must
Hang
have
with
a
us.
screen up that actually is just that. That or it just needs to be refreshed, like from this. Should be in a live view of everything. Except that's
Everything except the slides?
right. So like in the preview that it's showing you, your video and his video are live.
Got it.
That screen is not.
guys. We're coming. This is happening. Hunter, you want to just talk for a second? You got anything to
Yeah.
say?
All right. So Titans tonight, Tuesday night football.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Buffalo Bills. I think both teams are undefeated, so it's actually a pretty big game. I know the Titans are undefeated, but what else? The Bachelor, Lee Fun coming in strong. The Bachelor starts tonight.
It's like a train wreck when you just can't stop.
So congratulations to Lee Fund, who's here. That's some big news. He is going to be taking over as the broker for our East office. Tyler, who we hated to lose, to just kind of I think you saw my email, just new baby, COVID, lifestyle, just the idea of having a little more of a regular income stream was enticing, and so, but we're really thrilled for Lee to step up and to lead the East office as a broker there. So
You're going to hear from Lee in a minute. He's already stepping up and bringing a new tool idea to us. So that's pretty cool. So
Awesome.
Stand by for that because it's good. So you should be able to see this now. Livestream education in October. Teddy talks about it, but this is on the Village calendar. And then again, Jumpstart tomorrow. Day 1 is contracts with Angela and Karen. Day 2, building and maintaining the business with Teddy and Andrea. And then day 3, sellers with Andrea, which you're going to see is very important based on some data that we're going to go about. We all need to go get more sellers right now. And you'll see why. Buyers with Colin and Lee. You also need new buyers.
Yeah.
We need sellers so that the buyers have something to buy. That's what I'm going to get at. So anyway, detailed outline. Keep tune into your email today, and we will find out more about that.
So Zach,
It's LeBron.
did you see the Lakers
I
won
didn't-
the?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they won the
see
NBA
the game.
championship. They beat.
The was it the not the Jazz, the yeah,
Miami?
Heat.
Heat.
Yeah.
Nice. Good work. So anyway, I thought it was interesting. You know, these COVID times we're in. They usually have like the locker room champagne celebration where you're like drinking champagne, you're spraying it all over the place. Their bottles are getting passed around. This year, they just had the Michelob Ultra individual bottles there, all sponsored by Mich Ultra.
So that's not Michelob Ultra champagne.
No, that's just the beer. Just the beer, and everyone had their own individual one, and weren't spraying it on each other. So it's just like different. It got me thinking about Mich Ultra and their marketing. And did you know that they are now the 3rd highest sales beer in the U.S.?
I had no idea.
This is a brand that's less than 20 years old. I mean,
That's
Mich
impressive.
Ultra came around in like 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And you got these brands, Miller Lite, who they just passed last year. But it's kind of a fascinating marketing story. The top 3 are all light beer. So it's Bud Light number 1, Coors Light number 2, and then Mich Ultra. So,
And then Miller Lite's number 4.
and then Bud Heavy is like number 5.
It's funny.
Yeah. So anyway, the brand has integrated itself into the lifestyle activity and in the minds of consumers. That's their differentiator. So they sponsor golf tournaments. They sponsor marathons. They sponsor Carrie Walsh Jennings, who's an active beach volleyball player. The brand wants you to feel that even if you're not actively participating in marathons and that sort of thing, that drinking it signals that you're the kind of person who could be doing all of those things. And the irony, of course, is that they're taking sales from brands like Miller Lite, and the actual difference. So Mich Ultra has 95 calories, and Miller Lite has 96 calories. So it's 1 calorie difference. They have half a carb difference. It's not. I mean, they're basically the same thing.
They might just put less beer in the bottle.
They might even, and in taste tests, Mick Ultra's not winning any taste tests. Like actually, like on the light beer category, Miller Lite does a lot better than Mick Ultra. So like they're winning this game and it's got to be extremely frustrating to other brands that are struggling. Beer sales are down overall, and Mick Ultra just keeps going. It just kind of speaks to they found their niche marketing wise, and so how do we do that as Village? How do you do that as your own brand, as an agent? Just looking for ways to differentiate yourself, and marketing can be a really important way to do that. So I thought that was.
Yeah, I know I've talked about this book a lot, but I just reread Building a Story Brand, and it talks a lot about that. Just a lot about kind of not just what you're what you're trying to sell, but how you're making people feel, right?
Yeah.
And that was a good example.
Yeah.
I feel like I could run a marathon.
Drinking this
I
makes
don't,
me
so
feel
I'm
like
just not going to drink coffee. But
So on the other end of the marketing spectrum, Ruby Tuesday filed for bankruptcy last week, and
it's a very charming looking Ruby Tuesday with all those
that
big
is
trees.
a good looking Ruby. It's like the Twilight shot. It shows you, like, for our listings, really ought to use the Twilight shot. But anyway, the restaurant industry is struggling due to the coronavirus, social distancing, and that open air salad bar concept that Ruby Tuesday is known for is like not going to come back anytime soon. You think?
That's tough.
I thought it was interesting. So you've got different chapters of bankruptcy, and we kind of need to know just the main three: Chapter 7, Chapter 11, Chapter 13. What the difference is. There's all sorts of chapters, obviously. Like some had to deal with municipalities going bankrupt, and that's like Chapter 5 or 12. And some countries, there's just chapters in the bankruptcy law. But these are the main three. Chapter 7 is kind of your liquidation bankruptcy. That's the one where basically you're liquidating all the property and then distributing whatever's left over to the creditors that are out there.
Gone forever.
Gone. You're not really keeping anything. The trustee usually is appointed, and they'll kind of take charge of the assets as they're sold and come in and make those agreements. Chapter 11, and that's what a lot of times companies will use, like Ruby Tuesday. So what they're doing is they're going back and they're just reorganizing. They're going to negotiate with their creditors and come up with some sort of plan to reduce their costs and come out of this a stronger entity that can pay back their creditors over time. And then finally, Chapter 13 is kind of a wage earner plan. And so if an individual has a regular income, they're allowed to develop a plan to pay back their creditors. And in particular for us, a lot of times you're able to keep your home and avoid foreclosure on your house, in contrast to Chapter 7, where you're gonna get foreclosure. So those are the big
That's
three.
important to know about.
Yeah, just thought that was
Hopefully we don't run into
cool.
that, but good to know.
So we talked about this, people moving to Nashville. Another article came out last week in the Tennessean just highlighting people looking for kind of a different way of life. A lot of people moving from either the Northeast or bigger cities where people are just struggling with their lifestyle and wanting to have a little more, whether it's weather or whether it's the ability to go outside more. Yeah. And so this is a story I thought was interesting. Did you know that half of the Nashville traffic search on Zillow are coming from outside of Nashville?
Wow.
So over half the traffic of people looking, searching for Nashville homes are people that don't even live in Nashville. That's a pretty huge number. Most popular cities that are searching for Nashville are people in Atlanta, Chicago, LA, and New York are the most searched in Nashville areas.
Say this one more time, because I think that's important.
Atlanta, Chicago, LA, and New York.
All right, so
Big cities.
if you know people in Atlanta, LA, Chicago, or New York,
Yeah. And this Kristen
Right about
Goebel,
that.
who's pictured here in the article, and her husband, they imagine that life in Chicago. They were in Chicago. Imagine that life in Tennessee. They couldn't really pull it off because his job was there, her job was there, and so the pandemic allowed them, with remote work and there more companies moving to that, allowed them to pick up, make the move, and really feel like they're in a better spot. She says, quote, "We have a long list of friends looking to move from Illinois." So,
It's good.
let's hope so. Also, article, another interesting thing, it took a while. Millennials really came of their normal home buying age around the '08 downturn. And so they saw either they got stuck with a house and they couldn't move, it was underwater, or they saw their parents that happened to, or a friend that happened to. So it really, in a lot of ways, stunted what's a normal process of, when people are in their late 20s and early 30s and they start buying their first home.
Yeah.
And so it kind of pushed that out. Well, we're catching up right now in particular, and over half, according to the National Association of Realtors, over half, a third of the sales of existing homes were first-time home buyers this last summer. So
Wow.
coming on the
that's
pandemic,
big.
third. Yeah.
It really does drive the market. It's a really big piece of the market. So we have a lot of agents that work with first-time home buyers, and so reach out to those guys, talk to your people that you know that are renting, and tell them about, and Connie, if you want to come up in a minute and talk about rates, but they're still.
I mean, you can,
still
depending on
super
where
low.
you're looking and where you're renting, you can kind of match your payment and kind of have the ability to build up equity over time as a homeowner. One of the things this article highlighted in particular, which may be obvious, but they highlighted a lot of the new home purchases are townhomes. So a little bit, you're moving from an apartment, you want a little more room, need that home office, and in particular, women love townhomes, and they're a lot of this first-time home buyer, and it highlights, Hostetler says 80% of their townhome buyers are single females, and they like the sense of community that townhome offers, as well as the low maintenance and new construction. So I thought that was interesting. Hadn't thought about that as a demographic. Where are people going to move in the city? The Nations is one of those spots, and this highlighted this. This just traded this week for $6.5 million. It's right next to Stocking 51 in the Nations. One of the things that the Nations offers that people love about other urban nodes like 12 South and West End, Hillsborough Village, that area, is you've got a mix of retail with housing surrounding it, and so the Nations, Stocking 51's Frothy Monkey and Southern Grist Brewing and some other places down there, and this will be another. It's kind of right adjacent to that, near Silo Bend, and it'll be another kind of retail node down there. So I think that's worth keeping an eye on as you're out with buyers, just
That's
that
good.
Nations area.
If you don't go to like the Nations or any of these areas, any neighborhoods, always make sure. I think you just got to make sure you're out previewing all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing how quickly things.
So this is kind of big news locally. We talked about in the summer, Nashville passed a 34% property tax increase. So pretty big stuff. The mayor and the council made the case that that's what was needed to kind of keep the government solvent in the short and long term. And there's a group that is putting a referendum together to actually roll back that tax. And so,
is that the same group that's trying to oust the mayor? 'Cause I heard that
no, those are
75,000 signatures in 30 days.
There's two. Those are. I'm sure there's a lot of overlap there, but this group in particular is putting a referendum on the ballot in like mid-December, so it'll be just after the presidential elections, where it would roll back the 34% tax hike, and it would make a law that you can't increase property taxes more than 2% per year without voting approval, without taking it to the people, basically. And so government officials are saying, that this kind of rollback would be kind of a self-inflicted disaster for Nashville. That just financially, the amount of services that would get cut would be drastic. The other side says, hey, we need the government to live within their means, and if they're, the idea of a 34% increase in property taxes is too much. So, I mean, depending on where you come down on this issue, it's worth noting, I mean, the way the government does not want this referendum to happen, because it's, if it's on a ballot and people are going to vote, do you want a 34% property tax increase or not? It's good. They're worried about that outcome. So that's what going on right now is a court fight as to whether or not there'll even be a referendum. So
That's interesting. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
How's the market?
So the market had its best week in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, and so best week since early in the summer. We're just getting into the Q3, the third quarter earnings report. We're in October now, and so this week we've got some of those earnings reports coming. We've got a jobless claim that has remained stubbornly high in recent weeks. So hoping to see obviously fewer jobless claims this week. And then Friday, the U.S. retail sales are expected to come out and show for a fifth consecutive month a strong rebound in consumer spending on goods. Some are saying that the markets are responding favorably to kind of the election polling data that's out recently. And the market, unlike a lot of the politicians on both sides who kind of make the case, if the other side wins, it's the end of the world. Both sides kind of say that. And the market's saying, I can handle either side winning. What I don't want is this long contested election, where it goes in, there's all this uncertainty. The markets really don't like uncertainty. So as in the last 2 weeks, we'll see on the next slide, Biden has increased his odds of winning, and the polls have really, diverged. This is it's an interesting group. It's called 538, and they are a polling aggregation website, and they basically they aggregate and chunk all this data, and they're one of the groups that they didn't have Trump winning in 2016, but they had him, I guess his projections, a higher probability of him winning than anyone else. And so they've kind of become kind of a go-to polling aggregate data kind of place. But they're showing that, if you ran the election 40,000 times and you see who wins most often, based on their data, it's really started to slant in favor of Biden. So some of the states to keep an eye on, it all is going to come down to these swing states. Here they are: Ohio, Georgia, Iowa, North Carolina, Arizona, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So,
All right.
a lot going on.
It is a lot going on.
Hey, before I go, keep Kristen Koch in your thoughts this week, and she lost her mom over the weekend in a car accident.
Really tragically.
And really a lot of us are really close with our parents, obviously, and in particular, Kristen was super close with her mom. So she's obviously devastated and going through a real tough time right now. So we want to keep her in our thoughts and prayers and her family.
Absolutely.
So.
Thanks, Hunter.
All right.
All right, so it's a beautiful week. The rain has stopped. There's no more rain coming this week, guaranteed. No, but seriously, the weather forecast looks great. And so we're going to plant some trees tomorrow. So Jeremy and I I'm going to get out of the suit later, and I'm going to go. We've got this machine. We're going to dig some holes. So you don't even have to dig holes. But you come
Holes
out,
will be dug.
We got pre-dug holes for you. Literally, all you have to do is come out, hang out outside, and we'll have some refreshments tomorrow at 4 p.m. We're going to just plant some trees in the ground, bring some gloves, bring a shovel if you want to help scoop the dirt back in, put some mulch on them, get some water on them, and
Awesome.
we'll have some shade trees. So what's been cool is I've seen a lot of people over the last couple of months hanging out in the parking lot or under some trees outside, and it, especially this summer, it made me realize how kind of open our some of those back areas are. And so, time is good for trees. So
Yeah.
we're planting trees to let time be on our side and create some more shade. So tomorrow,
There's a
Wednesday,
saying around
October
that. You're
14th.
kind of hitting around. There's some sayings like the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago,
It was 20 years ago.
and
Yeah.
the second best time is today.
Is today.
Yeah.
There you go. That's good. I always tell my sellers that, or my buyers that. It's like, don't wait in 4 years to do landscaping. If you're going to do something, do landscaping now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say to buy a house.
Well, to buy a house, obviously. But if you're buying already, then do it. So, all right. So the market. Connie, you have anything you want to say about rates? We've got they're down again. So they were at 2.5. They went up to 2.75% last week, and then they are down just a hair, 2.625.
Yeah.
What are you seeing out there? Are you getting overwhelmed with applications, or what are you seeing?
Yeah, still really overwhelmed with applications. A lot of refis. The rates are still a little bit higher. They've kind of impacted that half a point for refis with Fannie and Freddie. So we may see some slowdown
Yeah.
on the refis now, but of course appraisals are still taking a little longer.
Yeah.
Just because of all the volume.
So that's a really good point, because I've seen this happen with a lot of deals lately. Is it's a 30-day, 35-day closing. There's a 10-day inspection contingency and a 7-day resolution period. Next thing you know, you're 3 weeks into the contract, and nobody's ordered the appraisal yet. Now you're ordering appraisals like
We
right away
ordered-
because you're
yeah.
seeing it, but
We
appraisals
ordered-
are coming in like a day before closing, and that is really not good for anybody.
Yeah, so we're ordering appraisals as soon as the customer has to sign their intent to proceed. So we really encourage them to sign those disclosures immediately. So you guys send us the contract, we get the disclosures out to them, they're signing them right away, we can order the appraisal immediately. So we're really trying to do that within like 2 days of receiving that contract. We can always cancel the appraisal.
Mm-hmm.
So if something, blows up with the inspection, which it does, we can always cancel it. It's better to go ahead and at least get it on the books
Yeah.
and, have it in place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. So good rates. So 2.65% for 30-year fixed, 15-year 2.25%. That's insane. All right, so inventory. So I was talking to Will Reynolds this morning, and we were talking about the inventory just kind of being low, and it's low in both Davidson and Williamson counties. I was just looking at these, and these are I've broken it down by price range, but obviously in Davidson County it's been rising kind of steadily over the last few years. You see these dips that happen at the beginning or kind of over the holidays every year because people will take their houses off the market, and then you see the steady rise up until the spring and summer, and then it drops again, right, as closings happen. But if you look at Williamson County especially, there's lower inventory in the $300,000 to $600,000 range than there has been in the last 3 years. So Davidson County is still a little bit higher in that range, but Williamson County is definitely lower. If you look at that 600,000 to $1 million category, look at Williamson County. It's less than 400 homes for sale. So it's just way down. Again, lower than it's been in that price range in the last 3 or 4 years. I guess 2017, 18, 19, 20, almost 4 years.
And as Nashville's growing and construction supply has grown over the last 10 years, it's really surprising to see the volume that low.
Yeah. So Nashville had its kind of low point at the end of last year, and then supply really ramped up in that price range. But it's starting to drop a little bit, which is typical again for this time of year. So if you go to over $1 million, again, you're still seeing a drop more so in Williamson County than in Davidson County. The $1 million and up range is not as low in Williamson County as it has been in the last 4 years, but it is a pretty significant drop this year. So there's a lot of activity. So if you've got buyers or former past clients in Williamson County that have houses that they're interested in selling, give them a call, talk to them, show them the data, and obviously, especially in Williamson County, you need more inventory. So monthly supply, timeout. Let's run out of battery. We got
Really a polished
really
presentation.
polished today. So anyway, all price ranges, if you look at that, you've got Williamson County again, just less than 2 months of supply. So low supply is all good and well, unless you also have low closings, right? And then it doesn't really matter. So what months of supply shows you is how many months will it take for the current inventory to sell at kind of whatever the pace of sales is.
Yeah.
And so if you look at this left column, the 2, Williamson County all price ranges is just a hair over 2 months of supply. That's really low.
Yeah.
So
Really low.
most economists will say between 5 and 6 months of supply is kind of a stable
Yeah.
market. I would argue kind of our market is probably more an average of 4 months. So we're half that. Davidson County as well. So if you just look at it by price range, I know this is a lot of data, but I was trying to just diminish the slide. So top left is under $300,000. Top right is 300 to 600. Bottom left is 600 to 1 million, and bottom right is 1 million and up. So I think what you see again is in Williamson County, the months of supply is especially low in that 600,000 to 1 million range, and 1 million and up. Well, and the 300 to 600. It's actually the lowest in the $300,000 to $600,000 range, I'd say. So Davidson County too, but if you've got past clients in Williamson County that might be interested in selling, give them a call. Definitely give them a call. Some tools, just a reminder, got some Village website updates. VillageRealEstate.com has been updated. We talked about this last week, but if you weren't on last week, we've done some updates and a couple things that you can do. If you go to, if you log into your subdomain and go to yourname.villagerealestate.com and then click on the, what's my home worth button, you can share this link, and it's a really great way to kind of get new leads, new seller leads in your boomtown. Share it on your social media, share it with your email newsletter, and you can, it'll give you kind of a good automated valuation on that. So that's what it is, your name. You find that in your boomtown account under my profile. And then just also a reminder, there's a new consumer-facing app that Boomtown has that's linked back to our website. So you can log into Boomtown, click send app invite, and it'll send a text message to your people. So, Lee, come talk about Testimonial Tree. What is it?
All right.
Cool.
Good
Got
morning,
some
everybody.
slides.
You have some slides.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about getting reviews, which is everybody's favorite thing in the world. So we obviously want to get reviews on all the websites, Realtor.com, Zillow, Google, and beyond, but no one wants to send their client 7 links to fill out surveys. So we have this awesome little service called Testimonial Tree, and what that is it's a system that you log into that just generates all the reviews to all the websites. So it will show up on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Google, there may be some more. Those are really the main ones, I guess you could say. The good thing is if your client sends you a review, you can actually copy and paste that in the system. You don't even have to send them a link or anything to fill out. They obviously will get a link and they can fill it out there and then syndicate. But like, let's just say they went ahead and went on Zillow.com and filled out a review and they didn't use Testimonial Tree, you can just copy and paste that review into the system and it goes everywhere. So it's pretty easy to use.
So what I put is they basically have a step-by-step process. So I just put some slides. So the first thing, an email or text goes out to your customer, and then they fill out that little survey, and hopefully they give you 5 stars. But there's basically 3 different things that can happen. So the first one is if you did a great job but they just were misinformed, then they leave a negative feedback. So the second piece, if they leave positive feedback, then a customer can, I think it'll take you to it'll show them your Facebook page, they can like it, and then you can remarket back to them in the future. And then your testimony gets stored on the Testimony Trees directory, which helps you with higher search rankings. And then the other positive is, you want to talk about this?
Well, just that it goes to every website, which is really nice because you may have a lot of reviews on Realtor.com, but if everybody's using Zillow, they're not going to see those reviews, and so it's just nice that it goes across the board to everything.
And you've used this before.
Mm-hmm. We had this at CryLike, and so it was really nice because you didn't have to ask them to go to multiple places, but it showed up multiple places.
And so I think it's $30 a person if you want to sign up for an individual account. We've negotiated basically a bulk discount. If we can get, I think, 50 or 70, 50 people, then we can drop that price to $2 a person.
Yeah.
So
Per month or per year?
Per month.
So $2 a person, $24 a month, or a year, $24 a year, $2 a person per month. So for less than $25 a year, you can have this.
It's really awesome.
I mean, how are we gonna do it? How are we going to send it out? Do you send it out, or do
You can send it out. The office can generate a link to send out, or you can go in, give yourself 5 stars, paste the review, and then it syndicates everywhere. So it doesn't even really have to be something that you have to send to your client. Obviously, that would be useful, but that's the good thing. Where if they write a review somewhere, but you want it everywhere, you can make that happen.
That's great. So if you're interested in this, talk to
Lee or Colin.
talk
Me
to
or Colin.
Lee or Colin.
Yeah.
$2 a month. I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's one of the best tools that we had. So it
Yeah.
definitely works.
So that's great. So good work. Thanks for bringing that up and talking about it.
And what we'll just do is just to make it easy on everybody, if you want to do it, let them know, and we'll just add that onto your monthly bill. And again, like it's the value of being, you go out on your own and do this. You said it's $30 a month.
You're
To
spending
be
more in
able-
1 month than you would in a year. So
Yeah, to be able to do it for $2 a month is
good negotiation. That's great.
Yeah.
So coming soon. All right, the Beckany, which is a new, really cool project in the Nations in Charlotte Park, is if you go to thebeckany.com, that's BECANNI. They are doing a mimosas and brunch from Big Bad Breakfast Thursday from 10 to 12. And then after that, you can go from 11 to 2, roll over to Wedgwood, Houston, and have lunch. And the 4 new homes are being unveiled at Southgate Station. That's Chad Sane, Autumn Roth, and Matt Reed. The Beckany is Mark's City Living team. So the Southgate Station is located, I think I put the address on here, 514 Southgate Avenue. And then the Beckany is, check with Mark's team, but if you go to thebeckany.com, you'll be able to find the address there. So Thursday, you're totally set up. You got breakfast, brunch, and lunch.
you should be full.
You should be full and see a lot of really cool new stuff. It's really important to go out and check out, especially new developments. Sometimes they're not on the MLS, and sometimes it's just well, it's always good to do it. So
And you're networking, and you meet somebody, and you just
really
kind
good.
of
It's
keeps
amazing.
the
Sometimes
juices
I'll run
flowing.
into another realtor, and we'll start talking. Next thing you know, we've got a deal
Yeah,
working that with some people that
Get
really
out.
know.
Yeah.
So coming soon.villagetn.com. Enter those, and we'll send those out later today. So takeaways. I had some really good takeaways. You had some really good stuff.
Oh, thanks.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
me
So,
too.
I like it.
Exactly.
Sorry for the tech issues, but my computer didn't run out of battery, so
Yeah,
we're
it's
safe. Anyway, that's it. Thank you all for coming. Enjoy the day, and we'll talk soon. All right. Thank you all.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
You know, you guys never do the scary thing.